So it's been exactly 1 month since we had our exosomes. Here is Noise hair. I don't think anything revolutionary. Can you let it down, please? Yeah, about what expected. Seems to look about the same. What do you think? About the same?
Yes.
Okay.
The same.
Yeah.
Chain, yes.
Okay. Yeah, and there's been a little bit increase in shedding. There's been some increase in shedding, which can be normal with hair treatments. So we'll just see. As far as myself, what can I say? I wouldn't say there's something statistically significant. So when I feel it, it does feel a little thicker. And when I look at it, maybe it's a little more. Sorry, there's some dogs barking back there, but it's nothing noteworthy. It could be within what they call the margin of error, but take a look here. So there's still this wonderful gap here. So there's that side, and then this gap. I'm intentionally growing my hair long, but you can see it's very pronounced, very obvious gap situation. Quite unpleasant. It's like this hairline is like an aspirational hairline. Like this is where I'd like it to be, but obviously there needs to be hair behind it. Let's try to go over the top here for a second. Yeah, so let's just get this done here. Mirror here. Yes, there's the back, same situation. This area feels thicker, like distinctively. What might be happening, if anything, areas where I had hair that was fairly healthy or transplanted, maybe that's getting a little thicker. Areas where I'm missing hair, I don't really notice anything. So if it is working at this point, that might make sense. At 1 month, it's helping hair that's already healthy, and other hair, if it's going to help that's weaker, it would take longer, maybe the traditional 3-6 months, even a year. So nothing profound yet, but at the same time it feels like there might be something. But I don't want to get excited or disappointed. I just simply need to wait more time. Yeah, so this is September 17th. I had it done on August 17th, so it's exactly 1 month. In little less than a month, I'm going to be going to Dr. McGrath, so I'm going to include this in that video, and we'll see how it looks again. I'll give another update. Yeah, so nothing profound yet. Didn't expect anything profound yet, and it just kind of is what it is. Alright, that's it for now. So today is October 3rd, 2021. In a few days, I'll be going to Dr. McGrath for my hair transplant. Right now, I have planned to get 1,000 grafts, but if possible, I'd really like to get more, up to 2,000 or even more, because you can see quite clearly, and I've grown my hair longer, you can see quite clearly this gap is really pronounced, and then it's a little bit in this area too. It looks pretty ridiculous. So that's obviously, and also kind of along these temple points, I need to fill that in, fix that. That's definitely the top priority. There are clumps where it's looking good. You could even say it's thick, and then there's uneven spots where it's thin, and that's okay, and then somewhere it's almost bald. So there's clumps. My hair is what you might call clumpy. There's areas where it's thick, it looks good. Other areas where it's a little bit diffuse, and that's okay. And then areas where it's really quite thin. And I want to show you one area. Hopefully I can get this. Like exactly in the middle of my head right here. It's very thin. And, that's like the fountainhead of hair. Like if that area is thin, you can't comb it and cover up other areas. So it's like I have this like funnel where I really need hair. So I'd love to get another 1,000 in that area. We'll have to see if that's possible. It might not be possible with head hair, and I'll have to wait, go to Thailand or India or something and use body hair, chest hair, abdomen hair. I gotta fill it in one way or another. So my sides also look uneven, but that's more of a result. Multi-ton look from FUE and strip and just my plethora of different surgical interventions on my hair. So let's look on the right side. And this upper ridge here is it's like thick. And I mean, that's not a traditional area, but I'd love if we can take from that. In this kind of middle area, it's quite thin, might not be able to take much. And then on this left side, I forget exactly where, but there's a good thick area there. I mean, hopefully there's thousands of grafts ripe for the taking. And then let's try to look in the back. And there's still the same situation here. Eventually, I might put leg hair in there because that's kind of lower priority. It doesn't have to look perfect. So I want to see my best hair for here. And then chest hair, leg hair, just in areas of less importance. So onto exosomes. I would say it's kind of inconclusive. So I think I do see some improvement in hair that was already strong, or that kind of still didn't seem like it was dying, I guess you could say. So it seems maybe to even have made it a little bit darker in some areas, and maybe a small improvement in areas that were weak or dying. Those areas are still weak and dying as far as I can tell. Now it's still early. It's not quite 2 months, still another 17 days or 15 days until it's October 17th, which will be 2 months. So it's still quite early to judge it. But I'm not seeing any miracles right now. I think I do see some minor improvement, hopefully enough that helps me with the transplant. But yeah, this is kind of turned into not an ideal situation. It's lucky I have the resources and the time to fix it, because this would be embarrassing to go to work and be like this, and my wife doesn't care, fortunately. So it's almost comical, but not quite. It's more annoying than anything, but something I do plan to fix soon. All right, so I'm gonna go outside for a second. The sun is it's quite sunny, so that's just gonna wash everything out. I don't think this is gonna be all that helpful. It's just too sunny. But yeah, as you can see here, this is in the blazing sun. But yeah, this is really quite obvious. This needs to be fixed. And you can see this stupid area on the top here. My hair is kind of frizzy because a lot of it is beard hair, and that was expected. And it just all looks better when it's shaved right now. If I did want to grow it longer, I might be able to do that when I kind of fill in these gaps. And there's certain products you can use to make your hair less frizzy, less like it is right now. I don't want to get into any of that right now, because right now I'm just trying to fill in gaps and finish the job. But anyway, I'll be at Dr. McGrath in a couple days, and David DeMuzio from Hair Loss Hope will be there. So that should be interesting, and we'll probably collaborate and make something. Okay. So I'm here in Austin. I just got back from my surgery with Dr. McGrath. Kind of groggy because I think they gave me some Valium or something, which helped get through the surgery. But so I believe we got 1,700 grafts all from the head, which is pretty awesome. And he was able to take this upper ridge area. You can't really see it, and I don't want to take this bandage off at the moment. But that hairline, I can just tell. I really think it looks a lot better. I can just tell already. Actually, I'm bleeding a little there. I'll have to take care of that. And then we were able to tackle. See, this kind of middle area was thin for some reason. I'm trying to get like this. Yeah, so that was the other half of the grafts, and I'm really pleased with that. And this is a very important area here, because when you comb it, that kind of spreads out and can give some coverage wherever the other areas are less thin. Yeah, I really enjoyed Dr. McGrath's, bedside manner, his skill. It was nice meeting David DeMuzio, and it was definitely a good trip. And I don't want to get into recommending doctors. You got to make that decision yourself. I personally did have a good experience there. Obviously, when it grows and if it looks good, that's when I'm really gonna feel like I got my money's worth, and that was a good experience. But yeah, that was a good day. It went pretty quickly. Here I am I'm by myself here in this little Austin hotel. It's not the best one, but not with my wife, so I don't need to impress anybody. Um, yeah, so I'll be going back tomorrow. I always kind of dread getting on a plane when I have shit like this going on, but well, it's the next day. I'm here back to wearing my handy bandana. Actually, a perfect thing to wear after a hair transplant. Just here at the hotel, waiting for Uber to pick me up and go to the Austin airport and back to California. I gotta tell you, unlike Bangkok, I'm getting a lot of stares and unhappy looks with this get up in Austin, Texas in the airport. But what can I do? I gotta cover the head. Well, I'll be on a flight soon enough and then the pain will be over. So today is October 8th. It's 2 days after my surgery with Dr. McGrath. I'll explain what's going on in the back of my head in just a minute here. But I'm really happy with the hairline. This is exactly what I wanted. It's just slightly curved at the corners, but there's still the defined temple points. Before it was like a little too straight. Then there was like this, I don't know, thick hair with a gap behind it. It looked like a caterpillar crawling across my head. And then also he has filled in the gaps, as you can see. And also I had this like bald spot right in the middle of my head. And he very nicely filled that in. I believe we got 1,700 grafts. And what he did was he took from this like upper donor area. And again, I'll explain this back in a minute. So I hope I'm getting that. Because my hair is like, every other doctor wanted to take right from this middle, which I know is a little bit more the safe donor zone. But what it made is me have this kind of clown look where I have this really thick rim of hair. So my hair is over harvested and there's no turning back the clock. So I wanted like consistent over harvested so it's just like an even density across the sides of my head, and I can always get S&P or something. So I'm really happy he took from there. Okay, so what's going on with my head? So the day after my surgery, they offered to like wash my hair, and I've had a number of hair transplants, and I know you have to just use a cup of water and be careful. And I had a plane to catch, so I was like, I think I'll skip that. But what I didn't really think about was that they do more than just wash your hair. They also reapply the bandages, and they do that in a way that applies compression because it's still bleeding. So I woke up the next day, and it seemed okay. And then I got on the plane, and then I started having like blood running down my neck. And I was like, oh no. I was wearing that bandana that I got from Thailand, which fortunately covered it up, but I basically filled that up with paper towels from the toilet. Unfortunately, I got through it, I got back. And then I got back and I took that off, and it was like springing leaks everywhere, like blood. And then I really regretted not going to the doctor. So if they say, oh, we're going to wash your hair, it's more than just washing your hair. It's reapplying the bandages. They might have some special like blood clotting gel or pill they give you, and they'll put it really tight. And obviously they're aware of the fact you have the grafts. So I would highly encourage to go back that second day. And if I ever do this again, I'll just schedule the flight that I have time for that. So, and I believe I have some other photos, but I basically made my whole head look like a mummy, and I tried to wrap it up. And then I went to bed and it was fine, but I didn't make it tight enough. And then I just remembered, to stop bleeding, you need compression. So then I wrapped it really tight, and then it stopped on the side of my head, but it's still a little bit springing a leak in the back. So I have this, under this tape, there's like thick paper towels, and I'm confident in another day that'll go away. So that's a good lesson, that you just really got to be careful about the compression. And they say don't drink coffee, don't take vitamin E and things like that, and take that seriously. And I did do that. But irregardless, I definitely still sprung a couple leaks there anyway, so that is an important lesson. And I've had a lot of hair transplants, and I think I've learned every lesson, and I just always am learning more lessons. Yeah, so let's take one more look here. This just really looks good. I'm so happy about this. I think that's going to look great. And then another thing was, once we shaved my head, it was clear I got some benefit from the exosomes. Now, I'm not saying it's any miracle cure or anything, but it definitely thickened and darkened the hair on my side, which allowed him to take more grafts than we thought we could before. So that just all worked out really well. At some point, this will grow a little bit, it'll fall, and then it'll come back, cycle again. But yeah, so this is where things stand today. Aside from the springing a couple leaks, it's going pretty smooth. And that's it for now.